Hi,
Hi Lauren, how are you?
thank you.
Nice to be able to talk to you and catch up on life and how this sort of strange year is going.
Yeah, for sure. It's been very weird and strange this year. Yeah, it's been good. Just been training as usual. Lots of training. At the moment, I'm really addicted to Zwift. Do you know Zwift?
Yeah.
I'm so addicted. So I've been on the bike. I think the last couple of weeks I've hand cycled close to 400 k's a week on Zwift.
Wow.
Like, it's crazy. And yeah, so I've had a couple of long bike sessions today on there, and yeah, I'm so addicted. But at the moment, training is like I'm doing a lot of training, but it's pretty casual. I can pick what like I feel like doing. I've got my coach overseeing things, but at the moment it's pretty flexible. So yeah, I'm making the most of using Zwift before I actually get back into the real hard training with the coach. I love it because it shows me as an able-bodied rider, so I feel like everyone else, and it's good when I can keep up with the group, and I'm a hand cyclist, so yeah, it pushes me as well. It really pushes me, and I think it's really good for my improvement as well, like becoming stronger, riding with, I guess it's like riding with able-bodied people, and like I enter into some rides that sometimes might be a bit too hard for me, but it really pushes me. So I think it's really good at this point in time.
You play the guitar, is that right?
Yeah. So when I'm not training, when I've got a bit of chill time, I play guitar, and that definitely, like, I love music, and it definitely takes me to another place and takes my mind off reality, I guess. And yeah, it's something that, I have a mini guitar as well that I actually take away to races with me. I took it to World Champs last year so that, in my downtime I can, focus on something else and, go to that other place to chill. So it's something that I love to do, but I also love to draw as well. I've always been artistic, and I like drawing what I'm feeling, and it's like a release. I get to put it all on a page, and it really means something to me. So that's something that I do as well in my free time.
So do you have a go-to like song or band that, when you want to just kind of escape and press play on something, what do you reach for?
Yeah, for sure. I absolutely love Keith Urban. So he's definitely a go-to playlist. But I like all kinds of music outside of Keith.
Do you go to a lot of gigs as well?
Of Keith Urban?
Oh, well, yeah, in general.
I pretty much only go to Keith Urban concerts.
Who is this guy? I don't know.
What, you don't know him?
No.
Oh my gosh.
I need to educate myself here. Give me a quick rundown.
Well, he's married to Nicole Kidman.
Right.
You obviously know her.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he's just he's the most talented guitarist, and I love his music. I've met him 3 times, and I've been to concerts all around the world. Actually, in 2013, I booked a concert in America, and I hadn't even planned to go to America. So I decided to plan a trip around my concert bookings. I've got a passion for mental health. And, have you heard of Are You OK?
No.
So it's big in Australia. It's I think it's a foundation, but it's really focused on mental health and making sure that you're asking people, are they okay, and really meaning it, and giving people someone to really talk to. So I've got a huge passion for that side of things, and mental health, and helping people through their own struggles. Yeah. Growing up, I had a few struggles myself, with mental health, and I had eating disorder and other issues that I would harm myself and stuff. So I've overcome a lot of things, and to be able to give back and help people going through, their struggles, really, I've got a passion for. So, I grew up in Newcastle, which is 2 hours north of Sydney, but in a little town called Caves Beach. I was involved in a lot of sports, including swimming and surf lifesaving. So I lived close to the beach, so I was always outdoors, and I was normally up at 3:30 because I lived about half an hour away from my training squad. So I'd have to be up early to get ready and get to the pool, and you'd have to get there by 4:30 to do dry land exercises and some stretching, and then be in the pool by 5. It wasn't a good idea if you were late because the coach would not be happy.
And your personal Olympic dream then was the swimming dream, was it, at that stage? Triathlon came a little bit later.
Yeah, so at the age of 14, I competed at the Olympic trials, and I didn't make it at the age of 14, but it was definitely a big dream and a big goal for me to make the Olympic Games as a swimmer. And my event was 200 metres backstroke. The triathlon didn't come until after I finished school, and I was about 18, 19 when I started triathlon, just because I first competed in my first triathlon with a school as part of a team. I was a swimmer in a team triathlon, and at that event I just got the vibe and the love of triathlon there, and I really wanted to get involved. So after I finished school, and I decided to stop swimming and get into triathlon. So I found a bike in the local paper, and got straight into it.
Obviously, Brad Fernley has been a massive influence for you.
We basically met at the first squad that I started in triathlon, back when that coach spotted me in my first triathlon. So he was part of that squad with his son Bryce, and that's where I met him. And it's pretty much after training with him a bit, he was helping me along the way in my career, and we just become really close friends. And he's like a dad to me, and a very special person in the whole. In whatever I was doing, ITU, then starting in Ironman, he just helped me along the way so much. And even for my international travels, he helped me, and he really believed in me. He was one person that really cared and believed that I could make it in triathlon and in Ironman racing. He really saw that I had the passion, the dedication, and the self-belief that I can, and the talent that I could make it. So he was putting a lot of time into helping me. And without him, I definitely wouldn't be here, and I definitely wouldn't be the athlete I am today. And I definitely wouldn't be the athlete I was as an able-bodied person. And then, the accident, he was right by my side when I had the accident. So he's been involved in my accident as much as I have, really. It broke his heart seeing his best friend laying on the ground with a broken back, and every single day since my accident, he's been by my side and hasn't left me. So he's the best person, and I couldn't be more grateful to have him in my life, basically. Definitely a best friend. And, I've had a lot of friends that have left since my accident, and he's one that has just stayed constantly by my side through the hard times to the good times. And, I'm very grateful. Very special person.
So, given that you are so close, the recovery in some ways, you've gone through together as well, have you?
Oh, definitely. Like, we've gone through everything together. And when I had my accident, he was the one that, when I had my accident and was in ICU, in hospital, I wasn't eating, and because I was so sick, and I got down to 40 kilos, and he was the one that was at the end of my hospital bed, and he was the one that got me to eat, and that pretty much that saved my life. And since then, he's been with me, helping me through the struggles, the everyday struggles that I have, and living life in a wheelchair. Like, I grew up as an elite swimmer, but when I got in the pool for the first time after my accident, in the rehab pool, that was probably the most devastating day that I've had since my accident. Basically, I thought I was going to get in the pool and be able to swim after growing up as an elite swimmer, but that wasn't the case, and I couldn't put two strokes together because I was sinking. My legs were just sinking to the floor, and without him there, he basically came to the end of the pool and gave me two options. One option was I can get out of the pool right then and there because I wasn't able to swim and go back to the hospital room, or stay in the pool and continue trying to swim the length of the rehab pool. And, I chose that second option, and that was the day when that really changed everything. Like, I chose to not give up, and I ended up swimming 3 laps of that 12-meter rehab pool. It took me a long time, but I did it, and that was when I really showed myself that, with that self-belief, anything is possible. So without him there pushing me in a good way and helping me through the tough times, I wouldn't be the athlete that I am today, and I wouldn't have started paratriathlon. I mean, I don't have a dad in my life, so he, was that father figure to me ever since I started triathlon. And I've got my mum who I'm close to as well, and she's been there since, before my accident and since my accident as well, helping me along the way. So yeah, two great people that have stayed by my side. I wouldn't have started paratriathlon without him by my side, because I need him every day for training. I need him for my hand cycle sessions, for swimming sessions. So he's definitely a key person to my success, and having him push me along the way is definitely tough love. But I know what it takes to be an athlete and had to have that dedication. So to get back into when I found out that there was paratriathlon, because I didn't even know that I was able to get back into my sport, I was so excited. And he helped me get back into the sport that I loved. He's always told me in the whole time, in all the years that I've known him, to have that self-belief. And it's so important to believe in yourself, because if you don't believe in yourself, then you won't reach those goals that you set. It's really important. It's so easy to say that you believe in yourself, but if you have to actually believe with all your heart that you can reach your goals and to be able to make it. And you've also got to have that passion and drive. So being an athlete before my accident was, basically saved my life. If I didn't have sport in my life when I had my accident, I wouldn't be here today.
And has coming to terms with being in a wheelchair, do you feel that it's got slightly easier to deal with over the years, or do you still reach that, keep coming back to that if only feeling?
I'm always thinking if only, because having the accident wasn't even my fault. It was the fault of the roads. If I was 1 millimeter either side of those screws, I'd have my normal life back. And there's not a day that goes by that I wish that I had my legs back and my old life back, because I just loved it so much. So I don't think I've really accepted being in a wheelchair. Every day is so hard, but I try and look at the positives every day, and the positive of I am able to be active and be involved in my sport, and I am able to inspire younger kids and people that are dealing with struggles in their own lives. So I try and look at those things, and that's where I get a bit of happiness when I think of those positives. I have to live with pain from my chest down to my feet 24/7. It's neuropathic pain, so I feel like I'm being stabbed with needles constantly, and it is absolutely torture. And right now, as I'm talking to you, I'm in horrific pain. It doesn't go away. So that's probably the hardest thing to deal with about my accident and being in a wheelchair, because not only do I have to deal with that, I've got this pain and I've got to train through it as well. But training really takes a bit of my mind off that, and I get to focus on the other sort of pain that I put myself through in training. So
when you're training, or presumably more so racing, I mean, that's kind of escapism as well, right?
Oh, definitely. That's why I love training so much now, and I love racing. It takes my mind off reality, I guess. And don't get me wrong, I hate using my arms for training, for life. I'd so much to love to go back to using my legs, but obviously I can't, and I've got to do and I've got to use what I have.
And do you go through therapy? Like, have you had as much for coming to terms with that horrendous, like, if only situation that is kind of recurring, as well as the pain? But do you have a therapist? Have you been through therapy? Is there any advice that you have been given that has particularly helped, that you would always think, if someone else was going through this is what they should know?
I haven't been through therapy. I was told to, but I didn't want it. But basically, Brad has been that person for me. He's the person that I can talk to about anything, and he helps me through everything. So he's the person that I go to when in those tough times and in the good times. I do see a sports psychologist, though, for the sporting side of things, just to get that edge for, to be fully prepared for racing and stuff like that. But, I haven't actually been through actual therapy. I've learnt to deal with things myself. And also, one thing that a good friend of mine, you might know, Laura Siddle.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very close with her, and she gave me a technique of gratitude, and basically she said for me to write down 3 things that I'm grateful for every day, and those things I can focus on and choose to be positive, and that's really helped me along the way as well, is focusing on the positives that I have in my life rather than the negatives.
Having that first triathlon in 2018 back, in St Kilda to aim for, and then to be lining up on that start line, must have been absolutely incredible. Can you remember like how you were feeling and that sensation of competing again?
Yeah, I mean, I'd spent 6 months in hospital, and as soon as I got out, I got myself a hand cycle and all the equipment that I needed, and I got straight back into training. And it was so hard building the strength up in my arms, but I think I had about a month training before St Kilda, and St Kilda was a race to qualify for the Commonwealth Games, and that wasn't even in my head at that point. Like, I just wanted to get through this paratriathlon. So I competed at St Kilda and I qualified for Commonwealth Games. Like, I was so surprised, and racing at the Commonwealth Games 11 months after my accident, I definitely wasn't expected, and to represent my country on that start line, it was mind-blowing. Like, it was a special moment, but I certainly, when I was in that hospital bed, didn't expect to be lining up at the Commonwealth Games back into the sport that I loved.
Family and Brad and so on, were they, they must have been so excited for you as well. But was there a sense that they were trying to keep it low key and sort of manage expectations?
They were so excited, but as always, I love to win. So even racing 11 months after my accident and on that starting line, I was on that starting line with the goal to win. And so the expectations that I put on myself and the support of my family and Brad there, was always pushing me towards the goals that I set for myself and the expectations I had for myself. So I always set the standards for myself pretty high, and I love to reach them. But at the Com Games, I just had that little bit too much inexperience. But to get a bronze medal, was very special.
You were straight in there with some of the biggest races on the circuit, and you'd only, like you said, this was barely 12 months after the accident.
Yeah, it started pretty quickly, and soon after the Commonwealth Games, I was off racing internationally in the World Series races, and I was on the podium in all the races that I went in, and I got a few gold medals as well along the way. So a lot of learning, and I'm still learning and improving. And the improvement, especially in the racing chair, has come out of sight. Like, I'm so much better than I was in 2018. But I'm still learning and I'm still improving, which is really important, and I'm working really hard at it. But just to build up that strength in my arms has been difficult. Like, I've worked so hard in the gym, and it's been hard the last few years, especially with the surgeries that I've had as well. In 2018, I raced at the World Champs, and 5 weeks before that event, I was in hospital, and I had an 8-hour 40 surgery because of the complication with my spinal cord. So I started losing feeling down one of my arms and losing strength in my hand, and I had to be rushed into surgery because I was 2 weeks away from becoming a quadriplegic. So this was 5 weeks before the World Championships, and I had the best preparation for the World Champs, and yet again I was put into hospital. But I come out of that surgery, and I was in hospital for 2 weeks without training. But I thought over the 2-week period, I thought, well, maybe I can still get on the start line at the World Champs. So I come out of hospital, do a little bit of training, and I was on that start line again. And I got a bronze medal at the World Champs in 2018. So I've had to overcome a lot of surgeries and a lot of complications during the last 3 years. But I couldn't be in a better place as where I am now. Winning the World Championships last year in 2019 was the most special moment after what I'd been through.
Yeah, it was quite a special occasion all round, Lausanne, wasn't it? The course was great. The crowds were amazing.
I absolutely loved the course because it was hilly, and my strength was on the hills, on the bike. My preparation for that event couldn't have been better. Like, I improved out of sight in the racing chair, in swimming, and my strength was the hand cycle. So I had that goal of obviously becoming world champion, and when I was on the start line at World Champs, I was just going for that gold medal. I really believed that I could do it, and I had that vision that I could do it, and my race plan went perfectly. To win by a few minutes even was quite surprising. It was a fantastic competition. Like all the girls that do paratriathlon in my class were there, so I was racing the best girls, and to beat everyone by minutes was special. And crossing that finish line really brought back what it took to actually get there, like what I'd been through over the last 2.5 years, having my accident and becoming world champion. You know, it was a very special moment for not only myself, but for Brad, my handler, Dave Robertson, my physio, Martin Boyd, and, you know, my sponsors, Brad. You know, it's a really special network and team that I've got, and I'm very grateful that, you know, I've got the amazing team.
When you have the Para World Championships in among all the other World Championships, is that like a bit of a bittersweet thing for you to see all the other athletes competing, or are you able to compartmentalize and just focus on what you need to do?
It's always hard watching able-bodied racing, especially the girls that I used to race. But I didn't let it get to me. I was focused on what I had to do. There's nothing I could change. I just had to focus on the things I could control, and that was my race plan, my preparation, and be able to watch the able-bodied athletes go around was really, really inspired me.
And then that must have left you just itching to get going again this season. Devonport obviously went great. Were you heading to Abu Dhabi?
No, I was actually, so I did my first 2 races of the year, one in my hometown, Newcastle, which was the Oceania Champs, and I won that event, and then Devonport, which I won that event as well. And I really prepared myself physically and mentally for, you know, being successful in 2020, obviously with the Paralympics. And I was actually going to a race in Sarasota in Florida in March, and I was really looking forward to trying to defend my title at the World Champs. So I don't know. Yeah, everything's up in the air now. There's no races on the schedule as yet. So all I can do is keep training and preparing my body and to be race ready for when the races do come. I only did a PB the other day on the track in the racing chair by 45 seconds, and that's a huge improvement. So I couldn't be any fitter for the bike and run. It's just the swimming that I have to work hard at to get back to where I was before COVID hit. But when I was over in Florida for Sarasota, I actually picked up a new race chair over there, and it fits me a lot better than my previous racing chairs, and I feel a lot faster in it, and that's when I did the 45-second PB. It's
so important to feel at one with your equipment, right?
Definitely. And, you know, I got a new bike when I was hand cycle when I was over there as well. I had all this planned to be able to get the new equipment for the Paralympics, basically, and have it, you know, it's those little things that make a huge difference. And I really wanted to get that edge and have nothing stop me from getting that gold medal at Paralympics, basically. I needed my equipment to fit me perfectly so I could train the best I can and, you know, be the best prepared to be able to have success at the Paralympics. I'm actually really looking forward to those conditions. But yeah, it's a hard course because it's, you know, mostly flat, and that's, you know, it's harder to get away from the other athletes when it's a flat course. So yeah, it'll be tough, but I'll be preparing super hard to be able to be successful there. And as an able-bodied athlete, I raced at Kona Ironman World Championships twice, and over there it's hot and humid, and I just loved it. It really suited me, so I always knew that I was able to cope with the heat really well. I could go on for days talking about the last 3 years and before my accident, but like there's so much to think of. So much has happened, especially in the last 3 years in such a short amount of time.
The next 12 months is going to be unbelievable too.
And actually, I've chosen to give myself another challenge, having another year to prepare for the Olympics. I'm now trying to qualify for the Australian team for the hand cycling.
Wow.
So hopefully I'll have 3 events at the Paralympics. The road race, the time trial, and the triathlon.
And how does that work out in terms of the calendar? Does that give you enough time between events?
Yeah, for sure. So the triathlon is at the start of the program, which is what I needed. I needed that to be at the start of the program for me to do hand cycling. And yeah, the hand cycle races are a few days later, so it really works out well.
Brilliant. And then beyond Tokyo, are you thinking that far? I mean, how far ahead do you tend to think?
Well, if my body still lets me, I want to go to Paris in 2024, and then the next Olympics in LA in 2028 if I can, but I'll be quite old then. But yeah, and obviously Commonwealth Games. But I found out only a few days ago that paratriathlon, my category, the wheelchair category, won't be included in the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham, which is quite disappointing. And then I thought, I can do hand cycling, but I found out that hand cycling isn't included either, my category in the Commonwealth Games for Birmingham in 2022. So maybe I'll just have to try rowing or something.
Just see what tickles your fancy. Really nice to talk to you.
All good. Thank you.